What if your greatest enemy was not outside of you? What if it wasn't the insult, not the betrayal, not even the injustice, but the moment when you let anger take the wheel? The Stoics believed the real battle is not with the world, but with the flame within. Because the fire that burns hottest is the one you feed. There is a fire that lives within us, unseen, unspoken, but always ready to burn. It is called anger. A glance, a word, a memory, and suddenly that fire is lit. We feel the heat rise in our chest, the mind narrows, and we prepare to strike, defend, retaliate. But what if that flame never needed to rise at all? What if we could remain untouched? The quiet war within. And the Stoics were not strangers to anger. They knew its scent well, its seductive heat, its fleeting power. But they also saw its cost. Anger, if not restrained. Seneca wrote, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. To be angry is to surrender our peace in exchange for illusion. An illusion of justice, an illusion of strength. But true strength remains still. It does not flare. It does not react. It endures. The illusion of harm. What is an insult? A noise, a passing opinion, a breath shaped into sound thrown into the air. And yet we so often treat it as a dagger. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. The Stoic understands this simple truth. You can only be hurt if you allow yourself to be. The words of others are not weapons until we pick them up, place them in our own hearts and twist. But we don't have to. We can let them fall, like leaves on a quiet stream. Control the response, not the world. You cannot control people, not their actions, not their emotions, not their ignorance. But you can control yourself, your thoughts, your choices, your silence. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Stoic does not try to stop the storm. He becomes the still ship within it. He does not shout into the wind. He simply tightens the sail. Let the world do as it will. You remain anchored. Prepare for the imperfect. Every day you will encounter ignorance, rudeness, selfishness. You will be interrupted, dismissed, misunderstood. And none of it will be surprising if you have trained your mind. Marcus Aurelius began each day by preparing for this very fact. I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. This was not pessimism, it was armor. Expecting the world to be wise and kind at all times is a recipe for disappointment. But if you walk into life prepared for its thorns, you will no longer curse the rose for having them. The corrosion of anger. Anger does not live in the moment. It lingers. It festers. What begins as a flash soon becomes fire. It clouds reason. It disrupts clarity. And in time, it does not burn others. It burns you. You carry it in your shoulders, your jaw, your sleep. You become its servant. Seneca cautioned us. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Pause. Breathe. Let the storm pass through you. You are not your first reaction. You are your second thought, the one you choose. Principle over provocation. To live without anger is not to live without standards. It is to live by them steadfastly. The world will try to make you bend, to abandon your dignity in favor of emotion. But the Stoic does not dance to the music of provocation. He lives according to principle. What does my character demand of me now? That is the question. Not, what do they deserve? Responding with calm is not weakness. It is precision. It is knowing that every word you speak is a mirror of who you are. Let each silence be intentional. Let each pause carry weight. The power of stillness. In a noisy world, silence is power. In a reactive world, restraint is rebellion. You do not need to raise your voice to be heard. You do not need to lash out to defend yourself. The Stoic teaches us to stand in the fire without flinching, to let anger pass through like wind through empty branches, to remain calm when others boil. This is true influence. Stillness is not inaction. It is supreme action under control. The calm man unsettles the room. He doesn't compete, he compels, not with force, but with presence. Practice makes the master. You will fail. You will slip. There will be moments when you react, when you snap, when you burn. That is not weakness. That is the forge. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. Each day is training. Each moment of irritation, an invitation to grow. You don't become untouchable by avoiding life. You become untouchable by walking through it, awake, aware, and disciplined. Reflection is key. At the end of the day, ask, where did I keep my peace? Where did I lose it? What did I learn? Little by little, you build a fortress around your soul, reclaiming inner sovereignty. To be untouchable is not to become numb. It is to become sovereign. You feel the emotion rise, but you do not let it rule. You observe it. You choose your ground, and you stand firm. Let others rage. Let them accuse, exaggerate, misread. You owe them nothing but silence. In that silence is your freedom. He who is brave is free. Seneca wrote, not brave with the sword, but with the self, the quiet strength. There is a kind of strength that does not announce itself. It does not rush to defend pride or to punish insult. It simply is. The Stoic understands. The greatest power is the power over one's own mind. It is the ability to say no. This does not move me. This does not deserve me. I remain still. That is unshakable. That is untouchable. That is victory. Final reflection. Become the fortress. To master anger is not to kill the fire, but to contain it, direct it, transform it. You become the stone, the mountain, the river that flows but never breaks. And when the world tests you, as it will, you do not flinch. You do not rage. You do not justify. You simply return to your breath, to your principles, to your silence. You walk away, not with pride, but with peace. Because in the end, the one who angers you has no power unless you hand it to them. Reclaim it. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus, let them provoke, let them misunderstand, let them shout. You remain still, remain clear, remain powerful. Be untouchable not by force but by calm, not by dominance but by discipline. This is the Stoic way. This is the unshakable soul. And in this quiet, deliberate strength, you are free. If this reflection has stirred something within you, consider joining us on the path of inner strength and quiet wisdom. Subscribe to the Stoic Shine and let timeless philosophy guide your modern life.